everyone, Linda here with you from Gun Nut Lane Jewellery. I'm doing a pendant for you today. I don't have a design in mind. It's going to be an on-the-fly pendant because I really haven't had time this week to think about what I was going to do. All I can let you know is I'm going to be using some red coral chip beads and wire, of course. So if you'd like to see what I come up with this on-the-fly pendant, then please stay with me. I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, I've got my 16 gauge wire here, and I'm going to flush cut that. Always make sure you flush cut your wire before you start a project. And I've got my wrap and taps, and I'm using the biggest circle on this, and I'm just going to make a complete circle. Get that all the way around, and then I'm going to flush cut that there as well. Okay, I've got a big jump ring. Grab my hammer. But my block and hammer rather. And first of all, I'm just going to close this up a little bit. You can do this by hand at this stage. It's going to come open again when we hammer it, but we'll just get it reasonably round. And I'm just going to lightly tap that all the way around. Okay, then I'm going to put some texture on it. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can leave it just like that. So I've turned it over. Excuse me. And I'm just going to use the other side, the ball peen part, this part here of my hammer. And I'm just going to texture that. All the way around. Okay, that looks like enough to me. You can do a bit more if you want, but you stop when you feel like it. Okay, now I'm going to close this up. I'm just grabbing my flat nose pliers and my bent nose pliers and wiggle those together. There we go. They're not fully together. It's very hard to get a big circle to come fully together. I'll give that one more go and see if I can get it a bit closer. There you go. I think that's about as far close as I'm going to get them. All right, now what am I going to do with this? I've got my coral chip beads here. I've sorted through and taken out most of the big ones. There's another big one there. That one too. Yeah. I'm going to grab some 24 gauge wire. Where's my 24? There. You don't have to worry about flush cutting this piece. I'm going to pull off quite a length. I'll cut it and then I'll give you a measurement. That should do, I think. This on the fly stuff is fun, but it can also be very stressful when you're filming it. All right, let's see what we've got here. Are you there? Hold on. Okay, I've got 89 centimetres, which is roughly about 35 inches. So it gives you an idea of how much to cut off. Now, what do I want to do with this? Okay, I'm going to do a basket weave. So I'm going to start off up here. I should have left my, opened. I didn't know I was going to do this. I'm going to open it just a little bit, just to make it easier to wrap this. There we go. So I'm going to bring that through the loop. And wrap it. I'm going to bring it over the other side. So I've come up and over the other side. Bring that around. And I'm going to wrap that. Bring that around through the loop and back up over the top. So underneath, through and wrap it, underneath and through and over. I'm wrapping it and I'm coming back up through that break in the hoop there and pushing these down as I'm doing this. Get down there and over. Okay, I'll do that one more time and then I'll stop the video and I'll come back when I'm finished this. I think you've got an idea of what I'm doing here. Just making sure that you push them up all the time. So over, through the gap, get through there. It's closing up now because I've got the wire around it. And you don't have to worry about keeping these neat either, because it's not a neat type of project. Through there. Okay, so I'll finish this off and I'll come back when I've done it. Okay, I'm back for a sec. I've got to mention, when you're doing this weaving onto the circle, you're basically only going to get so far, and then the wires just want to keep coming back down, and also too, your loop's going to cross over further as mine has done here, which is okay, we can fix that up later. But what I'm going to do now is, from where I am here, I'm going to start bringing my wraps up around here, this part. So this means you're going to have to loop it through your wire, your frame. So you're still doing the same thing, you just have to loop it through. I'll grab the end of this wire here, there we go. Now bring it down to this side here. So I've come underneath, I'm coming over the top now. And I'm coming back up through the center. And I'm coming over and through, and then over, through again, pulling it nice and tight, over, down through the center. Oops, it came out through the gap in the wire then. And over again. Oh, through again I should say, but you're going over the frame. yeah, over and through. Through again to finish the wrap. And what do I want to do here? Okay, this time I'm going to come up here and I'm going to wrap back down here. And I'm going to try and include this join here in my wrapping as well. So I'll come back when I'm getting down to near that part there. All right, I forgot to mention too, I always leave my tail thread usually until the end, but because I want to wrap up here, I'm going to finish my tail thread off now, otherwise it's going to be in the way. So just bringing that through a couple of times. I'm sure you all know how to finish off a tail thread, but if you don't, this is how you do it. All right, so making sure it's on the back. I've just got to find my front. There it is. So it's on the back. And grabbing your nippers, your cutters, just taking that little bit of wire off and then tapping it down so that you can't feel it. You should be able to run your finger over it and not feel it. I've tucked mine towards the inside of the ring there. Okay, I'll finish wrapping this and I'll come back. Okay, back. So I'm down to this bottom part here now, and I'm actually quite happy. I've been looking at it, and it's, even though it's crossed over here, I'm actually quite happy with that because it means nothing is going to slip between it, and it's not sharp at all. If you were worried about that, I would just take a file and give that a file, but if you flush cut it and maybe file it beforehand, then you wouldn't have to worry about that there. But mine is nice and smooth, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to finish this off here now. So I'm just going to wrap around. Oh, that did kind of pop through there. Just let me have a think about this for a sec. Okay, I could probably wrap the whole of this last bit of wire over this drawing. You'll see why in a minute too. I'm not worried about this wrap. I'm having ideas in my head of what I'm going to do next, so just going to grab my pliers to help me here. Just feeling that, yeah, that feels fine. This is sort of how I work all the time. I just, as I've said many times, I don't draw designs beforehand. I probably have 2 or 3 that I drew a few years ago, and that's it. I just make the design up as I see a sort of a picture in my head before I start usually, and after that, or not, well, especially this one, I didn't even have really much of an idea in my head. I just knew I was going to start with a circle like this. So that's pretty much why I wrapped there, and I'm quite happy with that. Once again, find my front. Bit hard to see in this light. I'm going to bring that around one more time. And just get that there. Just pull that in nice and tight. And snip that there. And smush it down. happy with that. Okay, so this is what we've got. Doesn't look like much at the moment. I'm going to take my pliers, I'm going to move that around a bit, move that around a bit. I'm going to do that with my pliers. I want to get this down a bit further if I can, so just bear with me. Smush that in. Okay. Now I'm just going to twist these wires. Just giving them a slight bend. Just going to work my way around. I'm not thinking of any particular design or anything like that in my head. I'm just going to see how it turns out. So as I grab them, I'm just giving them a little twist like that. You just do it until you think it looks nice. It's sort of like what you like. You can go around and just give them, if you've got a little bit of a bump or something, give it a bit of a squash down. Don't have to worry about down the bottom part too much because we're going to be covering that with beads anyway. Okay, I think I like that design. I know it's covered up a lot of the beaten part, but you've still got this part up the top here, which I might even give a bit more of a bead. I think I might want that a little bit more beaten up the top there. A bit more texture in it. All right, so we've got that. And I've got someone at my door, hold on. Okay, back with you. Sorry about that. I forgot I had groceries ordered. Normally they wouldn't turn up this early anyway. Okay, so while I was off, I cut a piece of 26 gauge wire, and that measured 104 centimeters, which was 41 inches, I think. Yeah, 41 inches of 26 gauge wire. So now I have to decide what I'm going to do here. I'm going to obviously attach it. So this being quite a long piece of wire, just bringing it through there. Nice and tight. It just got wrapped right over the top of my camera then. Okay, I'll finish this piece off in a minute, this tail, so I'm just going to put that out of the way over here. And I'm going to pick up some of my chip beads. I've never used these coral chip beads before. I don't like using things like that normally, but these obviously already harvested, or I think they use dead coral anyway. Well, hopefully they use dead coral, but I know they're not supposed to be doing coral beads anymore. I'm not fully up on that story, but anyway, it was more the colour that I loved. And so I'm going to start with 2. I'm just going to see here. As I said, I have no idea in my head what I'm going to do with this. Yeah. So you're getting to see how I work when I'm just doing this on my own when I'm not on camera. Alright, I'm going to hold those in place. I've got them where I want them. And find the end of this wire. Goodness, it's such a long piece. come through. I hope you all don't mind that I didn't have a design in my mind, but as I mentioned in my post that I sent out, that I had that many appointments this week, medical appointments, and I just saw my specialist yesterday, and everything's going good, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, but I had so much on my mind that I just I couldn't even think of a design, so I thought, well, I didn't want to disappoint everybody and not put a video out, so I thought I'll just show what I do when I'm just designing at home. Yeah, not on camera. And hopefully this doesn't get too boring for anybody. Okay, I'm just going to try one at the moment. It's a little bit bigger bead than this lot of coral didn't have a whole lot of small ones in it. So I'm just going to bring that down there. Just seeing where I am here. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully watching me might give you some ideas about how to design when you don't have an idea of what you want to do. It's just a matter of picking up some wire and some beads that you love and having a play. And as you all know, wire is not that expensive that if you just absolutely hate it, you can, cut it up, pull it apart, start over again. I try never to do that. I try, if I'm not liking the pieces I'm going along, I think I've said it before, I just keep going, and usually in the end it turns out with something that I'm, happy with. Okay, I've got that around twice. So this is my top here, so I'm just working what I want to do. I'm going to put one more, get that tighter there. One more bead here on this side. Trying to find one that's not too big. This is the hard part, sorting through chip beads. That's not too bad. Come on, come down. There we go. And also too, trying to fit them in, I kind of equate when I'm using with chip beads, it's like building a stone wall, trying to fit them in as you would if you can imagine. I've never built a stone wall, but I've seen people do it. You're just fiddling with the beads until you get it sitting in a position. No, that's okay. Where it fits in, it's like a bit of a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle. That's the only way I can think to describe it. I just had a thought that I thought, oh, I hope this turns out. I don't want it to be a mess and a hot mess, and you'll go, oh my God. All right, so from here, I'm going to pick up a couple of beads. Try and find some smaller ones. As I pick them up too, I'm looking to see, trying to get them ones that are drilled fairly well in the center. The first one I picked up was a little bit to the outside, but I could see it still had a good amount of bead around the hole, because you don't want them to just snap off. Okay. What am I going to do here? I'll put one more on, I think. Just having ideas running through my head at the moment. Alright, let's It's alright. I'm going to come up over the back, through the back. Working with this long bit of wire is not easy under a camera, but I mean, it's not easy usually anyway, but it's a lot harder to do it under a camera. I'm just always making sure I'm not getting any kinks in my wire. And I'm going to bring that through and try and wiggle it in through some beads. And bring that around one more time. And pop him up through the middle. And back down through that bead. Okay. Couple more beads. Actually, I'm going to pop a couple more on as well. This is, I can see now this is going to turn out similar to an earring I showed you a couple of weeks ago, I think. But maybe not. One more bead. What size do I want? Something medium size. Try that one. Oh, come on, come down. It's just spinning around on the wire then and going nowhere. Okay, I'm going to wrap that on. Getting it to sit in there where I want first. Sorry, I don't want this video to take too long, not just like for you guys to watch it, but also to how long it takes to upload. So I might pause it in a moment, and I just don't want you to miss out on anything. That's all right. I haven't got that in the right position there. So I'm trying not to pull too much on this wire up here because it work hardens it, and being a 26 gauge wire, I don't want it to snap. So just be careful how you pull it back through if you have to undo something. Try just to keep it whatever you would where you're pulling it up towards the beads, not pulling further up your wire. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Alright, I'm going to go down through this time I'll have more control over where I put it. So I'm going to fit it in there. Making sure I don't get any kinks in my wire. Okay, that's sitting better now. Okay, now I'm not going to wrap it onto the frame as such. I'm going to wrap it through here, through the beads, that gap in the middle there. get it under that bead, pull it in reasonably tight. Okay, now I'm going to fill that gap in that we've got there in the middle, this gap here. And I'm just going to try and find a couple of smaller beads. One more. You can see there it still needs one more bead. Thank goodness my wire is starting to get shorter. It'll make the job a bit easier. Okay. So now I'm going to come down through that gap that we had, the bigger gap, which now you can't see as much because I've got the beads in the way, but down through there. Come up through this one. I'm just going to go down through any gap that I can find there. And don't worry if your wire shows a little bit, see mine's showing there, don't worry about that. That all adds to the design. Now, it's a little lopsided. What I'm going to do is continue on adding beads now. You've seen how I've been doing it. I'm just going to fill in gaps and make it more, I don't want to use the word symmetrical because I don't want it to actually be like neat symmetrical. I want it to be messy symmetrical, if that makes any sense. Okay, I'll stop now and I'll come back. Okay, so I'm back. So I've got all my beads wrapped on now, and I've got them in symmetrical in a messy way. Now, if all your beads are nice and tight, which most of mine are, but some of them aren't, they're a little bit, these ones here are a little bit loose. If they're all nice and tight, you can leave it just like that. Just finish your wrap off, your wire off, and that's this part done. But if you wanted to add a little bit more wire to it, like if you like to see the wire, you can just start wrapping and just come around through different places like this. I'm just checking to see if I'm getting those tight, and pull your wire in pretty tight while you're doing it. So I'm going to come up over the top there and around those three that are a little bit loose and bring that in. This one up here is a little bit loose, so I'm going to come up through the back. Placing that in where I want it before I pull it tight. Okay, now that's tightened that bead up. They're nice and tight. Everybody's nice and tight there. So I can bring that around, come up the back again, and just find a place where I can tuck in and finish my wire off. Come through there. Got it pretty bulky on that side, so I might actually take it over to this side. I'm just going to wrap around those beads one more time if I can get in through there. Now the amount of wire I said to cut off, I think you can shorten that by a bit. You can see here how much wire I've still got left, but I didn't know how much I was going to need at the beginning, so I made sure I cut enough off. And this wire won't go to waste, I'll use it in something else. Just pulling that in nice and tight. I'll let you know how many centimetres, inches I've got left of this wire, so you know how to adjust that if you don't want to have leftover wire or too much leftover wire. Can I get through there? Yep. And this being a 26 gauge wire, it's just going to fit into my 24 gauge wraps that I did to start with, so you won't see this, and that should be enough. Cut that off. Making sure I only cut the wire I need to. Okay, I'll just give that a quick measurement for you. Actually, I had quite a bit. I had nearly 53 centimetres, almost 21 inches left over. So I think I said 41 inches. So if you cut off, say, 22 inches, you should be fine with that. All right, find my little thing to tuck down here. Okay. I don't have too many wraps on the front, but I don't want them to sit there looking all straight like that, so I'm going to bend them. Or twist them, I should say. And again, this also helps tighten up if you have any loose beads. They're still a little bit loose there. I'm going to come in the middle, if I can get in there, and give that wire a twist that's attached to them. So just giving it a little bit more interest than just, you know, straight wires wrapped over the top that just don't look nice. Well, not to me anyway. I don't think they look nice. And you can do the same thing on the back. Just give those wires a bit of a twist. To give the back a little bit more interest as well. Okay. Well, I'm quite happy with that. I'm not going to say I'm 100% in love with it, but I'm quite happy with that. Now, to make a bail for that, I'm just going to grab, I've already got pre-made here, but you can just make a jump ring. 16 gauge. Did I mention that I made the frame out of a 16 gauge? I'm not sure if I did or not. Anyway, the frame I made out of a 16 gauge as well. I can't remember if I said that or not. And you can hammer this as well if you like, texturize it if you want to, but because it's going to hang that way, I'm not going to worry about it because you're not really going to see the texture that much in it. It's probably open wide enough. And then just close that up. I use my bigger pliers when I'm using 16 gauge wire. It's too heavy for my finer tools. Oops. Make sure you grab it tight. And I don't have a lot of strength in my wrists and fingers, so I think I've got hold of it nice and tight, and I don't. Alright, there we go. Just get that in nice and flat. And then that's your bail. Put it the front way around. These tools out of the way. And that's your bail for that. So what I would do then is I always make my own chains. I would make a chain. I could either thread it through that, or I could add a jump ring. Let me think about that one. Would I add a jump ring either side? No, if I was going to do that, what I would then do is add another larger jump ring going through, and add a smaller jump ring to attach the chain each side, if that makes any sense. And I'd use some of these to make some connector links or whatever, just to bring the interest back in, connecting to the pendant. Actually, the more I look at it, the more I like it. So that's quite often happens with me. And once this is patinaed, it's going to look stunning. Actually, I can't wait to get it into some patina and see how it looks. So for an on-the-fly pendant, I think I did a fairly good job. Just let me know what you think down in the comments. And I've heard from YouTube that comments and likes really, really help your analytics, your statistics on your channel. I know I get a lot more people watching my videos than actually hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the like button. I've put the effort into showing you how to do this. So it'd be really great if you could just hit that like button. That would be fabulous. And a comment as well, that really helps my statistics as well. I'm getting close up to the 2,000 mark in my subscribers now. Once I hit 2,000, I will be doing another giveaway. And yeah, so we'll just see what happens from there. Anything else I want to tell you? I just want to say thank you to everybody. I sent out a post the other day saying this video would be late. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that sent a message wishing me all the best and prayers and that sort of stuff. That was very lovely of you to do that. It really touched my heart. I didn't send the post out for that reason. I just sent it out so that you would know, like if you were waiting on my video, that you would know that it was going to be late. At this stage it's only a day late, so I think I've done pretty good there. Okay everybody, please take care, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.